Well, good Friday afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boost Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. It is Friday, and it is getting us one step closer to the NFL season. You know what's crazy is the Dallas Cowboys, they stir the drink. Things that happen with the Dallas Cowboys that they kill us for. They tell us that we are the worst team in the world. The Dallas Cowboys, they suck. Are you kidding me? They literally will blow us apart. And when it happens with other players on other teams, it doesn't register. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You guys might remember that 2 years ago in the offseason after we lost to the Green Bay Packers, this happened. Let's take it back. Let's go back in time.
Astonishing. So here's DeMarcus Lawrence, star player on the Cowboys, terrific player. He's on First Take yesterday, and as you'll see, they asked him about the reason the Cowboys went out of the playoffs so quickly. And listen to what he said.
All honesty, I think the main thing is who's burned out, man. Long season, team dominantly healthy throughout the season. The legs get tired.
What the?
I mean, Bart.
What? What the? Yo, man, that attitude reflect leadership. That's your leader talking, man. We were fatigued from what? Like, are you kidding me? We were tired. See, this is the culture that we talking about. Excuses, man. What are we were tired. My God, these dudes are so soft. God, I can't believe these words can come out of a person's mouth. It's like, man, jeez.
All I gotta say is for everyone out there, this mic right here.
Yeah.
For everyone out there always complain, why y'all talk about the Cowboys? There you go. They always do things for us to always come back to talk about them. I mean, how in the hell could you say, oh, our legs are tired? Bro, you on your way to the Super Bowl.
You don't even practice no more. Why?
Right, you're not practicing.
Why you don't even practice? You don't even tackle the practice.
You gonna get, oh, my legs were tired. Like, come on, man.
You don't even practice anymore. You don't even have contact. You're eating donuts.
Danny, go ahead.
Hold on. Okay, so a couple things. One, we can't ask these dudes to give us honest answers and kill them for it sometimes. Two, he was the guy in that defense that showed up all the time. Maybe him and Micah, but he showed up all the time. So we can disagree with it a little bit, but DeMarcus Lawrence was an absolute war daddy this year.
What you saying stupid, Dan? We can't.
Yeah, he's saying that what he said was stupid. Dan, it is a very, very unusual thing for a player to say in our first playoff game, we were burned out. It's a long season. The legs get tired. Someone wins the championship every single year. The idea that in the first playoff game they had just run out, they were burned
out of gas.
I don't get it. I mean, candidly, it is. Yes, I get it. We asked him the question. He gave us an honest answer. That's a terrible answer.
It's a
terrible answer.
Okay. So, yeah. They went off. See, the Cowboys, it's a culture. They're soft. They suck. But listen to this, because somebody said this, I believe yesterday. I hadn't even realized that this took place like 5 days ago. 5 days ago, this took place. Oops, wrong button. Let's see if we can get this right.
I want to win many for San Francisco and my teams that I play for. So, I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure out.
Is what they talk about before the Super Bowl, that having to control your breathing, and is that real? Is it that different? Is it?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It was the Super Bowl to me. Everything's a production, so it's very lengthy. The whole week, you got media, all these different events you got to go do, and then play on Sunday. And so actually the week before is when we prepared, 2 weeks ahead of the game for our meetings and practices and all that. So it was just a very long process. And then before the game, usually you got, about 5 minutes, the clock, and they do the coin toss, and then boom, you get right into the game. The Super Bowl was 15 minutes, so you're just out there waiting and waiting. They do the national anthem, they do all the production. Halftime's another 30 minutes to 45 minutes longer. So it just felt long, but I will say the game, since you're not at a home site for anybody, really, it's a neutral site, and there's a lot of people that are just fans of the game, and the game's sort of quiet. As a player, it's weird. It's like sort of quiet when you're out there. Third downs and high pressure situations, it got a little loud, but outside of that, man, it was one of the more quieter games I've ever played in.
As a fan and somebody who, semi works in this world, I went the year before. So the NFC Championship year for y'all, because Gardner was with the Eagles. And so I went out to Arizona the year before. And you quickly realize, though, man, like, that thing's heavy. Like, just the Super Bowl's heavy, and this is what we're all doing this for.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, and be on the football sense of from the time you're training young to the amount of time that we spend training to the amount of time that they spend on this, it literally is, there's only one happy team at the end of the year.
Yep.
It is all for that moment. That's wild to think about. Like, that's something unique to sports, I think. It's like baseball, basketball. There's a champion. There's just one champion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure once you go there early in your career, too. Because do you feel like, oh, well, now, I can do this again. I can do this again. Well, there's a lot of guys been in the league for 15 years, never even sniffed a Super Bowl.
Dude, even playoffs, how big of a deal playoffs is to get into the tournament, and I remember Trent Williams talking about how important it was, and his whole career in Washington before he got to San Francisco, they never went to the playoffs. And so when he came over, I think in like 2021, he was like, dude, how grateful he is, like 12 years into this thing, that he even made the playoffs, and then let alone the Super Bowl, 2 years ago for all of us. It's like, as a rookie, I came in, we were one game away. My sophomore year, boom, we go to the Super Bowl. So I was spoiled. And then last year, I found out tough way, like, dude, this ain't given every year. We need to make playoffs, and things can happen. And so after that game, just seeing guys that were crushed, Juice, Kittle, Christian, Ayuk, Trent, like Fred, all these guys, man, like, they all get how tough this thing is. And so going into the game, I think I was a little bit spoiled, thinking, okay, like, we got here. It wasn't easy, but I got here my second year where all these other guys were like, dude, no. Like, this thing, you got to be grateful for it, and then go make the most of every play and opportunity, because there's no promises of ever getting back here. So I'm still trying to process all.
Do you feel like you have to, coming into this year, since y'all didn't make the playoffs last year, it's the first time in your career, do you feel like you have to be a little different in your leadership style? Is there something you're changing off of what people would say was not a great season for San Francisco, as opposed to a year when you come back from NFC Championship or Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, every year's a little different. 2 years ago, after my rookie year, I think we all had this bad taste in our mouth because our whole team felt like we didn't have a chance to compete against the Eagles in the NFC Championship. I get a torn UCL, the backup quarterback gets a concussion, boom, season ripped away from everybody. And it's like, hold up. So we came back just on one 2 years ago, went to the Super Bowl, fell short of it. And then last year, man, guys were tired. Like, that season, dude, is no joke. And when you go from July of training and everything all the way to the end of February, and then you really get 5 weeks off or so, and you got to report back, and then you're going again. Yep. It's like, dude, guys are tired. They're still beat up. Their bodies, for these guys that are getting older, like, it's not easy. And then last year, we just had a lot of things go crazy in a wire, like with injuries and whatnot. But so you can't take things for granted. And so for me going into this year, it's like, how can I just continue to press that gas pedal?
I'll leave it right there. We were tired. Had you heard it? I didn't hear it. Somebody made a comment about that in the live stream I was on with Law. We were tired. I was like, what? I hadn't heard that. Because it's not being blasted on, Get Up or First Take or anybody. Ain't nobody talking about it. Why? Because it's not the Dallas Cowboys. Brock Purdy, we were tired, man. And don't get me wrong. I have said that same thing that I said one of the reasons why it's hard to repeat especially now that the NFL season is longer, and when we put in, 18-game schedule, which means there'll probably be another bye week added, that's 2 weeks less of time that their body's going to have to recover. And see, when you go to the Super Bowl, you are practicing and playing football until the middle of February. In April, you start OTAs. If you've got to get surgery, you have less time for your body to heal. I've said that. I agree with them 100%. You do get tired. Your body does not have time to heal. And when you start thinking about having a 16-game season versus 18 games, okay, two more games. If you play for 8 years, that's a whole nother season that's put on your body without putting on a whole nother season just because you have more games. And so, what they go through, and if you're getting, your shoulder worked on, you're going to have to go through rehab and everything else. If you are not a Super Bowl team, at least it's the middle of January when you start. You do have more time to get your surgeries and things. And this is a reason why the Super Bowl hangover is true. As great as the Eagles are feeling, well, they've had to get rid of a lot of players that have gotten older and, more expensive to make the numbers work. You've lost coordinators, and you now have more wear on your body and less time to recover than others. I'm just pointing out that nobody cares that Brock Purdy said that. D-Law said it, and it was the end of the world. Again, this is what it's like when you are with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes, and as always, I appreciate you. Peace out.